Richard Johnson, thanks ever so much for joining us for our weekly catch-up. Here we are, the beautiful surroundings of Chelmsford on a lovely sunny day. We come here on the back of our 7th Blast game, obviously 8th tonight. You've kind of gone, let's start with this, you've kind of gone from hero of the hour to villain of the piece. Last 4 games have changed some people's perspectives.
Hero to zero, that's what you're saying, is it? Great. Yeah, look, we obviously started the T20 Blast with no real expectations, very young squad. Try to set out a way we want to play the game, how we want to be seen to be playing the game is another way of putting it. And I think we started really well, and almost because we started so well, it raised expectation. And I think that also around the players. Suddenly, I think we probably thought we were maybe a bit better than we were, and we took our eye off the ball a little bit. I thought the Sussex game on the 4th game was a game there to be won, and we messed that up a little bit. A bit of inexperience there, and then obviously we had a couple of games where Joey Denley played a magnificent knockdown at Kent. He was the only one that seemed to find a way of making batting look easy on that game. And then obviously the Radlett game against Hampshire was our worst performance of the tournament. So we had a little reset after the Hampshire game, a little bit of a rethink about going back to our identity, our basics, what made us play well in the first 3 games. And I thought actually against Surrey last night we put on a decent show. I think we've talked about in the past in these interviews about how young this squad is. Yeah. It's not an excuse, it's fact. We're playing against teams with a lot more experience. The only way we can put experience into our talented group is by playing them, and that's what we'll continue to do. And I think this young group are keen, they're enthusiastic, they want to learn, and I think you'll find through the tournament they will get better. Yes, it's an eye on the future, but it doesn't mean to say we can't win games of cricket now, which we're trying to do obviously, and we'll be doing that through getting our identity right and making sure that the players understand that and that we're learning all the time.
Absolutely. I guess that lack of experience was no more evident than it was last night when you looked at that Surrey lineup. It was just packed full of internationals. You must have been really pleased, I guess, however, with the way we, certainly at 8 overs into our 7-8 overs into our innings, we were on top in that game. And it's letting those small margins, I suppose, those small moments in games pass us by, and that's when you get made to pay.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I did the sums. I think they had roughly just under 2,200 appearances to our 900, and about 600 of those between Morgan and 2 overseas. So we are young. As I said, it's not an excuse. We do need to get better quickly, and gain experience. I think this is, you look at it as a whole. I've been at Middlesex obviously before this for a period, and this is a sort of 15-year where red ball has taken a massive priority, and our senior players in our squad are more red ball focused than white ball focused. So we are left with younger players, and I think now if we take those younger players over the next 2 or 3 years, this core of players is only going to get better over the next few years, and become a better team to compete and try and win something as we move forward.
Absolutely. I mentioned the villain of the piece in some people's perspective. There's a feeling obviously that the Blast has taken the gloss off what was a brilliant start to the season. Let's not make any bones about that. You talked about this being a young side. We've talked for a year or so now about the young side that we're backing. There's a couple of players that you're giving opportunities to. You talked about giving people game time and opportunities, possibly at the expense of others. It has to happen. We're in professional sport here. You've obviously got a vision in place to back the youngsters we've got, and you're playing a couple of spinners in Tillan and Luke Holman at the expense of Souts getting an opportunity. There's been a fair amount of heckling coming our way about Souts not getting opportunities. We obviously announced this morning that he was going off to Durham. Can you perhaps expand on that situation?
Yeah, as I've said before, with our championship side, we've got some really good senior heads there. Robson, Stoneman, Roland Jones, Murtagh. There's a really good core of good senior players to help the young players develop and guide them along and take a bit of heat off them. Yeah. If you look at our T20 side, our only real senior players are Morgan and Simpson in white ball terms. Yeah. And so, we've got to start somewhere. We don't have a squad that jumps out on the page saying, "Oh, what an amazing white ball side." Yeah. So, one, we have to work on our identity of what we want to do and how we want to play our cricket, and we have to develop that over a period of time. So, Luke Holman, Tillan getting 14 games this year, 14 games next year makes us a better team in year 2 and 3. And as I say, it doesn't mean we can't win games. We've shown we can win games. We've shown that even though we're inexperienced, beating Hampshire at the Ageas Bowl, again, I think they had 1,700 appearances to our 500 that game. Yeah. You know, so we can do it, and we've got to show faith in those young players, and we've got to back them and support them and help them develop and get better.
I spoke to Alan Coleman a couple of weeks ago now about the challenges he's faced with pulling a squad together. Obviously the 2 original overseas players we had were Shaheen and Majib. You mentioned that young side that need those experienced heads alongside them. You've got 2 players there that offer a huge amount. They're both young, but they're both hugely experienced in T20 cricket, and they're both world-class stars. That must have had a significant impact, the withdrawal of those 2. Yes, you've got replacements in, but that obviously sets your plans back.
Yeah, Coley addressed that at the start, saying, you know, we're looking to really strengthen one side of our team. He mentioned that, you know, our strike rates batting wise were the lowest, and our economy rates bowling wise were the highest, which doesn't make a very good T20 side. And if you look at the last 15 years, you know, we've got to 2 quarterfinals. So, you know, the idea was to really pack 2 world-class bowlers, and then you know, get our scores, but knowing we can defend with Helmi as well. And obviously, start of the tournament we had no Majib, no Shaheen, and no Helmi. So, you know, it was tough. But again, I'll say that, you know, we found a way and we did win. And it's funny because if you do things the other way round, you lose the first 3 and then win the second 3, you know, and everything seems okay again. So it's, you know, there is momentum obviously involved. We'll be working hard tonight to try and put that right. We'll after a good performance last night, not quite getting over the line, if we play like that again tonight, we've got every chance of getting over the line. Yeah.
Jono, let's move on to red ball cricket. Obviously, we're back to you being the hero of the hour. We go into our 7th championship game tomorrow against Derbyshire at Chesterfield. Played 6, won 4, drawn 2. You must be really pleased with how the form has been in red ball cricket.
Yeah, absolutely. Started the season really well in red ball cricket. Senior players have really stepped up, and the youngsters have played really well around them. It's always difficult with a 4-day game in the middle of a T20 series, but we're lucky enough to have, you know, 4 or 5 guys who haven't played a lot of the T20 stuff who are ready to go with red ball cricket, and the other guys who will play this game obviously will travel tomorrow and make up the team. But hopefully we've got enough of that experienced red ball guys to hit the ground running first thing on Sunday morning.
It's not the best preparation for a 4-day game. Have you had much of an opportunity as a squad to hit some red balls recently?
Yeah, we did quite a long practice on this week. We did a red ball practice first and then a white ball practice afterwards. So the coaches were suffering after that one with the amount of balls being thrown. But yeah, as I said earlier, we've got a little core of senior players in Robson and Stoneman and Murta, Bamba and Tobes who have been keeping in check with red ball cricket a lot, and the other guys just trying to fill in where they can. It's always tough from a player swapping formats. Back when we used to play, it used to be a red ball game and a 50 over game straight after, but the crossover wasn't too bad. Whereas now, obviously, with Championship cricket and T20, they're quite extremes of our sport. So it can be quite taxing and quite hard work for especially the batters to get back into that red ball mode. But we'll be prepared well enough, and we'll go hard hopefully on Sunday morning.
How's the squad looking, John? Are you injury free? Are you going into that game full strength?
Yeah, we're good. We're all full strength. Absolutely.
Good to hear. Short and sweet. John, look, thanks ever so much for joining us. This interview will be going out tomorrow, so we won't know how you've got on tonight. But all the very best of luck. Hope it goes well.
Thank you.
And good luck.
Is that back to hero 0 or?
Yeah, well, who knows? I mean, if we come on the wrong end of it. Clearly 0, but I'm banking on hero, mate. So, Jono, thanks again. Much appreciated, and good luck up in Chesterfield.
Pleasure.